Things will be getting very cold this week. First, we have weather this morning to talk about. We have fresh snow out there and some freezing drizzle.
And of course, things can't help but get colder from here because we're in the 30s right now. Very mild this morning in the wake of last night's snowfall. But here's a look at some of that snow. We had cloud cover, and then watch as we have time lapse from Assisi Heights. The snow kind of obscures the downtown for a couple of hours anyway. A big burst of snow there, a couple of hours in a short amount of time. Then the skies began to at least clear a bit. The snow lifted out of it anyway. Now we're looking at gray skies, but sloppy, wet pavement. Temperatures right around the freezing mark looking outside southward in downtown Rochester with our Lewiston Auto Live camera. Right now we have a freezing drizzle around the area. A couple of reporting spots up north around Red Wing, Winona, Minneapolis right now reporting some freezing drizzle and flurries. We've had some here in the weather patio in the last half hour or so, so keep that in mind. Maybe a little extra slick because of that in the wake of the main snow band that has moved down to the east. Totals in the area about 1 to 4 inches. Here in Rochester, 1 inch officially at the airport. Douglas, just northwest of Rochester, 1.1 inches. And here at the studio, 1.5 inches. Look to the east. Mainly 2 to 4 inches. Waukon, Iowa, in the northeast corner of the Hawkeye State. 4 inches there. Mountain Prairie, Houston County, 3.6 inches. And La Crosse, 2 inches officially there. 32 right now in Preston. A very mild morning. Rochester, 32 degrees. 32 in Mason City and 32 also in Winona with a little freezing drizzle around right at the freezing mark. Brisk winds, 16 miles per hour. Makes it feel a bit colder. 21 the wind chill. Those winds are going to get gustier yet as that cold front comes through in the midday hours. Freezing drizzle until that front moves through. And that'll be around 8, maybe 9 o'clock this morning. Beyond that, you will eventually lose that cloud cover. We'll have some cold sunshine, but even with the sun later on, we're actually going to be colder but drier as that freezing drizzle threat will be out of the picture. Another storm system comes in tomorrow, brings morning snow and heavier snow ahead for Friday. Right now watching the storm system and the main band of snow move out of the east. There it is now moving into lower Michigan, so scooting along pretty quickly. There's the cold front with that system that's going to bring those sweeping changes with our temperatures. Ahead of the front, 30s. Behind it right now looking at teens and 20s later today. High-risk futurecast looking at maybe a couple of spots of freezing drizzle until about 9 o'clock or so, and then that exits the region. Gray skies this morning. Freezing drizzle, a concern for many of us anyway. 32 will ease down a degree or two through the course of the morning commute as that front gets closer. Then as it moves on through, we'll drop to the 20s pretty quickly with the increasing west winds. Right now about a 15-mile-per-hour breeze. Later on, winds gusting beyond 17 to 20, perhaps as high as 30 miles per hour, at least initially for the midday hours and early afternoon. Winds finally then subside as we'll see a diminishing breeze, but also falling temperatures back to the 20s around 4 o'clock. Some cold sunshine, but at least a quieter, drier afternoon. 32 in Rochester right now, 29 in Brainerd. Behind the cold front, 13 in Fargo, 8 in Aberdeen, South Dakota, and 13 below in Minot. We're not headed there necessarily, but in a couple of nights we may be sub-zero here, but the 30s across the eastern part of Iowa, 31 right now Des Moines. Weather Almanac, what's typical, 23 and 7, so we're way above the average to start the day. Once again, sunset at 4:56, at least above average now, but we're going to be pretty cold more often than not in the coming days. There's a front moving through, cold sunshine this afternoon, a diminishing breeze late. Tonight, stars and then clouds take over after midnight. A lot of the snow arriving first thing tomorrow morning, right around 5 or 6 in the morning until about lunchtime, about an inch or two of accumulation, and then clearing skies. Much colder tomorrow night, sub-zero, but at least by a few degrees as high pressure comes in. And the heels of that, we have that system that comes in on Friday, brings much heavier snow, but about an inch to 2 inches tomorrow through the morning hours. And then here's that heavier storm system that brings heavier snow anyway on Friday and the first half of Saturday. Temperatures by then much colder, teens and 20s, pretty much the rule after this morning. 23 is the seasonal average. Freezing drizzle for another couple of hours, then falling temperatures. 33 in Preston, 32 in Rochester with some afternoon sunshine and west winds. Tonight dropping to 15, but a lighter breeze. 7-day forecast looking at some snow, an inch or two tomorrow morning. 6 or more inches of snow potential Friday and the first portion of Saturday.
A lot of messy events to talk about.
A lot of active weather, a lot of snow.
Yeah, Mother Nature.